Welcome back, guys, to the Seeing Red MMA podcast. Here, I am your host, Dustin, and going over another UFC card here. This time, Sergey versus Curtis Blaydes. Literally just ended, maybe even 5 minutes ago here, so it's still fresh in the mind of what actually went down. And just jump right into it. Sergey Pavlovich continues his first-round knockout streak with the first-round TKO over Curtis Blaydes there. They were trading punches left and right there. You could definitely see that there was a power difference between the two of them once Sergey started to land that jab on Curtis, and you kind of noticed Curtis did not like that jab whatsoever. He was getting stunned and kind of wobbled with it there until eventually started to crumble under the pressure there and eventually got TKO'd in that first round there. And I mean, it took a while for Curtis to even start thinking about the takedown. I know he's been getting better with his hands as of recent there, but yeah, in this case here, definitely didn't behoove Curtis to kind of keep it on the feet there. But Sergey was able to shove the one takedown attempt that Curtis did have, so I'm not sure if it would have went any different if Curtis decided to start wrestling early. But I mean, 3 minutes into the first round there, is able to get the TKO win. I mean, this guy's for real. He's got bombs in his hands. He hits super hard. I mean, now that Ngannou's gone, he might be the hardest hitting heavyweight in the division right now. Not another person comes to mind that's able to generate this kind of power and just able to get these kind of stoppage wins in this kind of fashion as well too. Man, I think Sergey gets the winner of Stipe versus John. If he's maybe even the backup for that, I don't know, but I think this guy's getting a title shot. I mean, it's kind of. He's on a 6-fight first-round KO streak. I mean, that's kind of unheard of, especially in the UFC there. So if he doesn't get the title shot, something's up in that division. But man, that was pretty much like not, I would say, a coming out party for Sergey, but it's like I'm him, I'm that guy kind of performance there. I mean, letting everybody know he's next in line for that title shot. He definitely deserves the title shot, and I think he's going to get the title shot. So really big win for him. I'm a fan of Sergey. I mean, he did knock out my boy Tui. I love Tui Vasa, but it's undeniable. This guy's got really, really heavy hands and is able to eat some shots too. Because Curtis was landing a little bit there. I mean, it wasn't just one-way traffic. I mean, it was until after the point that Curtis did get dropped with that overhand right, and you kind of saw him stumble a little bit there. But other than that, I mean, it was a rock'em sock'em robot match there for a second until Sergey just started getting the better of him, getting through the guard and connecting those punches there. But, I mean, not much else to say with that. I mean, it's a really good win for Sergey. That's a title shot. That's a title shot opportunity right there. And it sucks for Curtis because every single one of Curtis Blaydes' loss has now come from TKO. The two Ngannou losses, the Derek Lewis knockout, and now the Sergey knockout. So, I mean, I don't think it's a chin issue. I think it's just, he's just getting unlucky. He's fighting these guys with super heavy hands that are able to find the openings to put him away. And Curtis will be back. I mean, he's a staple of the division. I think maybe for his next fight, you give him, maybe run it back with Tom Aspinall, because we didn't really get to see much of that one there. I mean, Tom Aspinall is number 5. Curtis was number 4, so it makes sense to run that one back. But I digress. The co-main event, Bradtavares got knocked out. Now, I know people were complaining it was kind of an early stoppage, but brunosilva, man, kind of wobbled him there with the check right hook and then kind of followed up with the knee that started it, and then just a perfect, picture-perfect, powerful straight right hand to put down Tavares about 3.5 minutes into the first round as well, too. So, yeah, I honestly had Bradtavares kind of winning that fight there. Like, I thought going into it, I was like, I think he might win. He was looking really good. He had really high guard there, making the reads necessary. But Brunosilva's got power as well, too. He was able to get the job done with that explosive power like we saw in the main event as well. So big win for Brunosilva. Hopefully he gets maybe like a top 15 opponent. That would be really cool. Maybe like a Chris Curtis. That might be a good fight for him, especially coming off a big win like that. Fight before that, you had Bobbygreen versus Jaredgordon. Now, that was kind of a weird one there. It ended in a headbutt that was originally thought to be a TKO, but then once they looked at the replay, it was definitely a headbutt. The forehead of Bobbygreen hit the temple of Jaredgordon, and he went down immediately. And, I mean, no knock on Bobby Green, but, I mean, he started celebrating immediately, raising his hands up and whatnot, dancing around the ring. I would assume you felt your head hit Jared's head, so I don't know why you're celebrating when you probably knew it was a headbutt. But, I mean, you got to sell the win. I mean, it's your career on the line anyways, but that was overturned. No contest there. Who knows? Maybe we'll run it back. That was deep into the first round as well, too, about 4.5 minutes in. So, yeah, not much you can really say about that fight. No contest headbutt. Brogan Walker lost her unanimous decision over Iceman Luciendo, and yeah, Brogan Walker definitely needs to work on that boxing. Very kick heavy. Not much you can really say other than that. But to open up the main card, Jeremiahwells and Matthewsemelaberger, they went to war. They were throwing down. I mean, Semelsberger was landing early into that round there, into the fight. Was landing that overhand right there, catching Jeremiah right behind the ear, kind of like in the back of the head area. But, yeah, I mean, Jeremiah was able to kind of get the win by using his wrestling there and holding him down and controlling the fight. So it's a really big win for Jeremiah. I'd like to see him also get a top 15 fight as well, too. Then to end out the prelims, you got Christos Giagos, I think that's how you say it. Man, that was a pretty left hook he landed on Ricky Glenn. I mean, he hit the button perfectly. I mean, Ricky Glenn didn't go completely out, but, I mean, he kind of froze in space there and was like, and fell over and just, yeah, that was all she wrote for that. Giagos, that was a good win for him. I know he's on a 2-fight win streak there, so it's good to see him get back into the win column, especially in a emphatic fashion like that. Bear with me here. I'm just going to take a sip out of my coffee. As you can see, Habib smash on the coffee cup. Tasty. I need that coffee because I'm not going to lie. I fell asleep in between the Brogan Walker and Bobby Green fight. I woke up in just enough time to watch the headbutt during the Bobby Green fight. So I got a cup of coffee here. Kind of wake me back up. Yeah, Raniyahya got KO'd by Monteljackson. Unfortunately, I mean, Raniyahya's 38 years old. I mean, I don't see him sticking around in the UFC, especially at the higher levels, for much longer there. I mean, sucks to see him go out like that, but it's a big win for Monteljackson. It's kind of a picture-perfect win. I mean, you're taller, you're longer, you're stronger than the guy, you're younger than the guy, you're more explosive. And the way he landed that, too, just that slide back, bop, right on the chin there. From the southpaw, yeah, was it southpaw? Yeah, it was southpaw. Lean back, right over Raniyahya's overhand right. Sink that right hand, or that left hand over the top like Connor does. Drop him, finish him off on the ground. Big win for Monteljackson. Hopefully Raniyahya, if he wants to keep fighting, let him, but I don't want to see him take much more punishment. Kel Rosa versus Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont wins a unanimous decision victory. And that's all about you can really talk about in that fight there. It wasn't great. Now, fight before that, I was very hyped about this fight. But then once it started unfolding, I was also then very disappointed. Because Muhammad Usman versus Junior Tafa, besides that first round there, was a bit of a snoozer. It was just Muhammad Usman taking down Junior Tafa and holding him down because he was not able to hang on the feet. I mean, offensively, could hang on the feet there, but defensively, Muhammad's got to get back in the gym there. He's got to get back in the lab, figure out how to work on that defensive striking there because, man, once he was trying to defend strikes and Junior Tafa was coming forward, he looked like a fish out of water. He did not know what was going on. And that's no knock on Muhammad Usman. I mean, he's very green into his career there as an MMA fighter, but, I mean, if you got that much power, you're going to want to move forward. But once you start having to move backwards there, it's a whole different story. And Junior Tafa was definitely connecting on some big shots, but there's a theme here with the Usman brothers. Obviously, his brother Kamaru is a lot better of a fighter there. That's no knock on Muhammad by any means, but yeah, they need to stop just looking straight down when they throw punches. They look straight down while throwing punches or slipping punches. They're going to get caught. Usman already did get caught because he has a very bad habit of doing that and got head kicked by Leon. So we've already seen what that'll do to you if you use that as your defense mechanism. But man, Muhammad Usman, it wasn't even looked as good as other Usman did. That was not a good fight. That was extremely bad fight. I mean, I know you're both young into your UFC career between Tafa and Usman, but wow, that was bad. That was really bad. I was hyped for that fight, and then when I started watching it, and I was like, yeah, that was it's not his most shining moment, I'll say that. Francis Marshall fought William Gomes and lost a split decision. It was a pretty good fight. I mean, they were going back and forth on the feet there. A lot of cage work as well, too. But, yeah, I mean, I kind of gave the fight to Gomes as well, too. I thought he was just landing more, landing the better shots, moving better as well, too. I know Francis was pushing the pace a lot, like kind of the one moving forward. But, I mean, if you're able to evade strikes like Gomes was as well, too, and land at the same time, I mean, probably going to get the decision victory. But to open up the card, this is a fight that I was watching, and since it's the first fight of the night, I mean, usually that's when I'm like really hype. And then as the fights go on, if there's more boring fights that happen, tend to be a little bit less interested in what's going on. But Brady Hiestand gets the third round TKO victory with 40 seconds left on the clock, fighting Batgerel Dana. However you pronounce that. I'm sure one of those pronunciations was correct. But, man, Dana, I was saying this here too as well. The one thing that he was doing that was opening himself up to those takedowns, especially the one in the third that put him on the ground that led to the TKO victory, that checked left hook. He was being way too lackadaisical with it. He was throwing that check left hook and not throwing anything behind it. Every time he threw that check left hook, Hiestand would move to his right. He could have just thrown a right straight right down the middle and probably connected while Brady was circling. But no, he was set on just throwing that check left hook over and over and over and over. And then once Brady kind of saw that there, I mean, he got dropped with it in the beginning of the second round, and he got wobbled with it at the end of the first round. Once he kind of started timing that, and Dana really kind of got, how would you say, I mean, not confident, but he was just like, yeah, it's a punch. I'm just going to throw it out there. I mean, it's not really going to put me in any danger. On the other hand, though, when you're standing square up and you just throw it like that, but nothing behind it, and you're not leaning into it or planning on putting anything behind it, you're just throwing that and that alone. With a guy like Brady, who's able to wrestle really well and grab single legs like that, he grabbed that single leg, put him on the ground, and then proceeded to TKO him up against the fence. That was just, I don't know if it was just coaching, where, I mean, he's from Mongolia, so if the corner is also from Mongolia, I didn't really pay attention to that. I was just kind of screaming at the TV, why are you just throwing just the left hook? But he definitely needed to add more punches onto it. If he was to add maybe like a straight right, or even maybe jab straight right, then left hook, and put some more oomph into his punches, he probably could have got Brady out of there. I mean, Brady was all bloodied and battered out. I mean, he was bleeding out of every orifice there. So, I mean, it was, what do you expect? I mean, you're throwing this punch that's just lackadaisical, and the guy who's a wrestler is going to dive right under that as soon as your balance is out of proportion. Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, but it's definitely something he needs to work on there because, I mean, I was calling it. I was like, he needs to throw that right hand. I keep saying it, and it probably sounds annoying to the listeners. He needed to throw the right hand behind it. He probably would have got Brady out of there. But overall, I mean, not a great UFC card. I mean, main and co-main event were fantastic. Bobbygreen, Jaredgordon, that was unfortunate. Jeremiahwells and Semelaberger, that was good. Ricky Glenn and Giagos, monteljackson, and raniyahya. Other than that, all the other fights were pretty dog. I mean, they were not very entertaining. The one thing that does confuse me a lot, why is there a women's featherweight division? Tell me, why is there a women's featherweight division? Makes no sense. And I think I need to look up something here real quick because I need to make a point. Because if this is what I think it is, like, let me just look it up first because this is going to be hilarious. Bear with me here. Division rankings. Okay, there we go. This is crazy. Okay, they say Normadumont's going to get a title shot against Amanda Nunes in the featherweight division, but she's ranked number 13th in the bantamweight division, but is somehow going to get a title shot in the featherweight division. So she's 13th in a separate division, doesn't even fight at bantamweight, fights at featherweight, where the division's a complete ghost town, and she's ranked. The fact that there are no fighters in the women's featherweight division for them to have it rankings to where they just throw them into the bantamweight rankings and then say, hey, you fight at featherweight, but you're number 13th ranked bantamweight, title shot at featherweight. Just scrap the featherweight division. Just scrap it. Why? Chris Cyborg's gone. Felicia Spencer's gone. Megan Anderson's gone. Holly Holm's staying at bantamweight. Why do we have a women's featherweight division? Can we please get rid of it? Please, for the love of God. Please, I'm begging. I'm begging you, Dana. Dana, if you're watching this, and I know that you are, please get rid of the women's featherweight division. Unless you're going to sign Kayla Harrison, who does fight at 155 in PFL, if she's able to cut that 10 extra pounds to get down to featherweight, and you're going to sign her, cool. Keep it around then. Have her fight Nunes. I know they're training partners, and that probably will not happen. Do that rather than just having a, like, hold on. Let me show you something here. The women's bantamweight division is literally empty. It's empty. What are we doing? There's nobody here except for Nunes, who's also the same person there. Why? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. Either way, that was your fight card here. Sorry about the rant. Just certain things really grind my gears, you know? As in Peter Griffin says, you know what really grinds my gears? The women's featherweight division. But that was this weekend's fights here. Till next time, we got Ricky Simone versus Song Yadong this coming Saturday. I'll get a video out for that one as well, too. Should be a good slobber knocker. Yeah, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at SeeingRedMMA. Other than that, you have yourself a wonderful day. Later, guys.